Anger over French President Emmanuel Macron's pension reforms has spread nationwide. In southwestern France, the city hall of Bordeaux was set on fire as protests continue against the government's plans to raise the retirement age by 2 years to 64. In Paris, over 1 million people took to the streets, some clashing with riot police who blocked tear gas at protesters. Labor strikes have impeded travel in France as protesters blockade train stations. The huge wave of protests may be the most serious challenge to Macron's authority since the Yellow Vest revolt 4 years ago. However, the French president says he won't back down on the reforms. Ross Cullen reports.
Tensions flaring in France, social protests on the streets of the country and police action in response. Tear gas and water cannons used to push back protesters. The demonstrations on Thursday saw huge numbers of people in towns and cities nationwide, demanding the government scrap its pension reforms. The message from the town squares and boulevards of France: the protest movement will continue.
The bill is not law yet, so we still have hope. That's why people still believe, and we believe we can stop it. We cannot accept a denial of democracy that we're seeing right now. So yes, we're here until the end.
Look around. All these people are not just here for fun. Our aim is that the government abandons the reforms. You have to ask questions. The will of the people is evidently calling for the government to ditch these reforms.
On Wednesday, President Emmanuel Macron admitted the reforms were very difficult, but he committed to carrying out the changes and implementing the legislation by the end of the year, which raises the retirement age in France from 62 to 64.
Well, the feeling among protesters is that there is no fatigue. They are ready to demonstrate for weeks and weeks, they say, to try to force the government into a climb down.
Train services were disrupted on Thursday. Some schools closed as teachers joined the walkout and airlines cancelled flights. President Macron called for calm amid the continuing political crisis, but the unions are fired up and believe they have the willpower and the manpower to force the government to change course. Ross Cullen, CGTN, Paris.